Hey guys, I'm Amanda Fisher, pelvic floor physical therapist, and I wanted to talk to you guys about pelvic organ prolapse. So if you're at this video, you have been having symptoms of prolapse, you've probably graduated from your physical therapy, and we want to talk about progressions. Now, I myself am a proud prolapse owner after having my 3 kids. I had my prolapse, my cystocele, my bladder prolapse develop after my first kiddo 7 years ago. It then came back after my second kiddo 5 years ago, and then again after my third. Now, after my third, that was probably the hardest for me to improve my prolapse symptoms. Things that I noticed for myself were that if I had weak glutes, my prolapse symptoms were worse. The more anxious and stressed out I was, my prolapse symptoms were worse, because typically when I am anxious and stressed, I'm a go, go, go personality, which is me all the time, pretty much all the time. But when I'm stressed and anxious, it's a lot worse. And to keep in mind, like your pelvic floor muscles, their job is to support your organs. So they should be holding up your organs. So if you think about, like, if I'm the vagina, for instance, and the front wall should be holding up the bladder, and then this back wall should be holding up the rectum, and then the support of them all should be holding up the uterus, that's what we want. But if any of these muscles or the ligaments get more laxed, the muscles are going to start to fall into the vaginal canal, and then the rectum may fall in there. And then you may find yourself splinting to have a bowel movement, or feeling pressure in the vagina when you have more stool that needs to come out before you have a bowel movement. Or maybe it's that the bladder is pushing in on the weakened pelvic floor muscles here, and so you're feeling more pressure in your vagina, like a used tampon type of feeling. And again, that bladder, as it's filling up, may even push in to give you that bowel sensation too, because that's what I had. I have cystocele, but I would still get symptoms when I needed to have a bowel movement. And it's typically because how those muscles and organs are positioned in the vaginal canal. Now, when they get strong and build up their coordination and endurance and all that fun stuff, they're gonna go back to supporting their job as supporting the organs. Okay, this is where we want to keep them. So things to keep in mind. For instance, I injured my back. So when I injured my back, I had a pinched nerve, sciatica is what people may call it, and it ran all the way down the back of my right leg. When I had these symptoms and a weakened leg and more spazzed piriformis, let's say, and I had a really hard time walking and I wasn't working out as well, my prolapse symptoms felt awful. I felt my prolapse, my cystocele, quite frankly, probably 75% of the time. I found that I was lifting my kiddos, I was feeling it. After I was sitting, I was feeling it. I had a really hard time getting back to workout activities. Now, when I worked on focusing on my pelvic floor and getting the coordination, strength, endurance back, while also combining in hip mobility exercises and strengthening my glutes, I have been hands down feeling the best I've ever felt in my whole entire life. I rarely have pelvic pressure symptoms anymore, and it's huge. If I do, it's like once in a blue moon, and it probably correlates with my ovulation cycle. And with that, it can happen due to a decrease in estrogen there, because your estrogen hormone is like your pump up hormone. And so if we're losing that at ovulation, we're more likely to feel those symptoms too. And that's okay. My main thing here is I want you to continue to progress and be able to do the things that you love, whether it's running, jumping, lifting your kids, lifting groceries, lifting the laundry basket without feeling pressure in your vagina. I want you to be able to experience that. So take a look at these videos, and hopefully these exercises will continue to keep you more progressed on that. You hopefully will not be feeling symptoms. Okay. So typically, if you're feeling prolapse symptoms, something that you might want to do or kind of keep in the back of your mind is, if I'm feeling pressure sensation down there with my type of prolapse, I would want to do X, Y, Z. So if we are having rectal prolapse symptoms, things that tend to work well to just kind of improve those symptoms quickly is A, belly breathing, because your pelvic floor muscles are going to want to spasm. They're going to want to tighten to help support, again, to help support the organs in place. So they're going to try to spasm to try to lift up. So first, working on some belly breathing to help that tissue kind of calm down and lengthen, because we want to start our exercises from a full range of motion so that it can contract all the way up and go back all the way back down. After the belly breathing, things that we would want to do are things like laying here and working on our breathing. As I blow out, I'm gonna pick up that blueberry or suck up that smoothie through a straw, and then I'm gonna put it all the way back down. And again, all the way back down. And again, all the way back down. All the way back down. Then you can also put pillows underneath your pelvis, so you'll be propped up with pillows underneath yourself here. So that pillows are going to be here. I'm going to be resting on the pillows, and I'm going to pick up my blueberry from this position. Breathing in, I'm going to blow out and pick up my blueberry. Back down. Again, guys, remember the blueberries are gentle. You can also move into just a bridge position where you are blowing out and picking up a blueberry and squeezing the butt all the way back down. Blowing out, picking up a blueberry, squeezing your butt all the way back down. Blowing out, picking up a blueberry and squeezing your butt. Again, these are all great to do for our rectal prolapse. Okay, if you're dealing with bladder prolapse, first thing I want you to do is start by working on your belly breathing when you're having symptoms. So say you're feeling the pressure in your vagina and you've been doing so good lately, but now you're having symptoms, take a break, okay? Take a break to do some belly breathing, because maybe the muscles are spasming to try to hold in the prolapse, and you want the muscles to start from full range of motion to be able to support that prolapse or support the organ, versus it being here and causing too much of a spasm, and then that's going to cause more pelvic pain, yada, yada, yada. So get into breathing. And I like to do this in butterfly position. I might lay like this. I might put my hand on my cesarean scar or the lower pubic bone, or you can even put your hand over top of the pubic bone here. Main thing is to work on the breathing. So this would be ideal if you could get in like 10 breaths of breathing. This would be amazing if we could get in more like 5 to 8 minutes. We use a meditation app called My Life Meditation, and you can do that for, you know, an 8-minute breathing technique of the body scan would be perfect. But then we want to get you into exercises that are moving the bladder, which is sitting in the front of the pelvis. And we want to get it where the bladder is sitting here, where we can start to tip that pelvis forward. So an exercise that would be good in that position would be child's pose to start. So laying here, first stretching or breathing into that pelvic floor to help it lengthen. And then while you're here, you can practice picking up a blueberry. When you exhale, and then relax it. And you can pick up that blueberry again, put it back down, pick up that blueberry again. You can try to hold it for a 2-second contraction. You can try to hold it for a 10-second contraction. But the goal is to get you to tighten up those muscles and to help remind that tissue where it needs to be. Again, the blueberry is a pick up, then put it all the way back down so those muscles can work through that full range of motion like they're supposed to. Child's pose is a great position to do that. Another great position is to actually be sitting down. Sitting up here, you're gonna feel more back at that rectal area, or the rectal area due to nervous system. If you lean forward, it's just like tipping that pelvis this way. And we want to get more of that isolation or muscle activity at the front of the pelvis at that urethral or clitoral area. So being leaned forward, you should be able to feel more sensation. So you'll pick up a blueberry as you blow out, put it back down, pick it up, put it back down, pick it up, put it back down. Same thing, doing them for 2-second holds, double the time to relax, or 10-second holds, double the time to relax. Now, say you're a busy bee and you don't have a lot of time to just sit around or lay down. You can use a countertop or a kitchen table or your bed if you're folding laundry on it. And you can also do these exercises there. So same thing, same concept. You're gonna pick up that blueberry from this position, put it all the way back down, pick up the blueberry, put it all the way back down, pick up the blueberry, okay? So these are great little exercises to kind of help you when you're feeling symptoms and just want to get over that little hump. Okay, my favorite thing to tell people that have prolapse, or my favorite thing to hear is, oh, I can't do that, I have prolapse, or I've been told I'm never going to be able to run or work out again because I have prolapse. Guys, I've had 3 kids and I've had prolapse after each of my children, my bladder prolapse, and I'm here to tell you I'm running, jumping, doing box jumps again without symptoms. So I can do it, you can do it. You just have to really work on building up exercises, building up strength in the correct way, not going out and doing things too soon, building up and progressing as you go. So doing things without symptoms is perfect, modifying as needed, but we really want to build up that glute strength. But things that you can do around the house to help you now are so simple and part of your day-to-day routine. First thing you want to do is, if you are getting up out of a chair, keep in mind that you want to blow out as you go to stand. Because if we hold our breath, that pressure is going to push down on those pelvic floor muscles and it may cause prolapse symptoms to get worse. Another thing you want to think about doing is, if you have your laundry basket here, it's much better if we squat to pick up our laundry basket than it is if we bend over for our prolapse. This is going to put a lot of pressure on that pelvic floor. This is going to allow the pelvic floor to work for us with its glutes. And you're going to exhale as you go to stand up doing that. Same thing if it's down on the ground, it's better to squat and come up than it is to bend over at the waist and come up. Okay, really use the butt and the pelvic floor for you, not against you. This is gonna make things worse. And if you remember in the other video, I said the go-go personality, that efficiency personality, tends to give us prolapse patients more symptoms. And we tend to bend more at the waist than actually squatting down to do things because we think we're being efficient, but in the long run, we're making our symptoms worse. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your exercises, to really blow out on exertion, blow out as you get off the toilet, blow out when you get off the chair, blow out anytime you're lifting the milk out of the fridge, a water bottle off the counter, the turkey out of the oven, or laundry baskets, groceries, kids, etc. Okay, if you have any questions on that, please let us know. All right, I love glute strengthening exercises with our prolapse. Whether you have a cystocele, a uterine, or a rectocele prolapse, we really want to work on building up the glutes. Your glutes are the supportive best friend to the core. So your core, as you might remember, is more of your diaphragm, pelvic floor muscles, the front of the lower abdomen, your transverse abdominis, and then it connects to that low back. Those 4 areas make up the core. We really want to focus on building up the glutes. Glutes are not part of the core, but you need them in order to have really good pelvic floor strength. So I like to say they're the best friend or the bestie to the pelvic floor, not a blood relative to the family, but the bestie. You always need a supportive bestie. So I like to do this at home when I'm folding laundry. I'll find the edge of my bed at my house and I will sit back with my hiney, and then I'm going to lift one leg out in front of me. So now I just have one foot on the ground. I'm gonna blow out as I stand. I'm gonna slowly lower back down to the table or bed in my bedroom. And I'm squeezing my butt, blowing out as I stand up, slowly lower back down. If you can do it as a count of 3, that would be beneficial. On the lowering, you're gonna squeeze your butt and stand up, and then a 1, 2, 3 to lower back down. We're really working the glutes here to help slow control with that pelvic floor to sit back down. Then you're gonna switch sides. So we're gonna do 5 on one, 5 on the other, blow out and squeeze that hiney. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, we'll see. One other thing that you can do with that too is you can practice doing your zip up. So thinking of a zipper connecting from your pubic bone up to your breastbone. So thinking of picking up that blueberry and it going all the way up. We do not want this to get so tight that it pushes the belly back down, because then you're gonna have pressure down here, but really think of kind of activating your abdominal muscles with that as you squeeze your butt and you stand up. Excuse me. So you're going to zip up, squeeze your butt, and blow out all at the same time. And slow back down. So I'm relaxing as I come back down. As I go to stand and I'm activating, I'm just kind of activating, kind of doing a quick squeeze of that zip up, a quick contraction, and then letting it go. slow, controlled back down. Again, everything's relaxed as I go back down. A quick zip up as I go to stand, exhaling and squeezing the hiney. Slow, control back down. Switch sides. Again, I want you doing at least 5 of these on each side. If you can do them pretty well, go for 10. Slow, control back down. Slow, controlled. Slow, controlled. Slow and controlled. Very good. Let me know if you have any questions with those. I call them butt busters, or you can think of them as a single leg pistol squat. Do them around the house at different sizes of furniture. Start high and then start to gradually move lower as you get really good at it. Hey guys, a couple of things you want to keep in mind with having prolapse. Make sure you have a squatty potty. No matter what prolapse you have, you want to get your feet up, your knees above your pelvis, and remember to lean forward. You want to lean forward so then that the muscles right now are being stretched, and then you want to lean forward so they stretch front to back as well. When we're here, make sure that your belly is not gripping, because I tend to do that when I lean forward. Let it relax, let everything relax. Just breathe to relax the tissue. And then when you're sitting here, really just kind of practice blowing out the candles. When I say blowing out candles, think of like blowing out candles on the birthday cake. You should not have to strain and push and bear down to have that bowel movement. You should be able to just breathe again like you're blowing out birthday candles, and let it be a smooth transition out, a nice smooth evacuation out of the body so that you don't have to push through. The more that we find pushing or that we're constipated, the more likely we're going to be feeling our prolapse symptoms or making our prolapse worse. So be mindful to stay on top of your hydration, stay up on your water intake, you know, plan or aim to do half your body weight in ounces of water to stay hydrated. Make sure you're getting enough fresh foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, less processed foods, so more whole foods, less processed. This is gonna keep your body happy. Cook your veggies. Raw veggies are a little bit harder on the stomach, so the more cooked or sauteed that you can do or roasted, it may feel better on your gut if you're finding that you're a little bit more gassy. And then think about having your probiotics, not just from a pill form if you have that, but think more food related. So like a little bit of kombucha, a little bit of sauerkraut with any kind of meat. Oh my goodness, kefir. So you've got a little bit of lactose free of a yogurt milk. And I'm missing one more, kimchi, you know, with our Asian dishes, that would be a nice little option. So you have, or even a sourdough starter, that is a great fermented food as well. Anything that you can really get in your diet to help digest foods and help with those good bacteria is really beneficial. And another thing that we can do is maybe eat a little bit of collagen. That helps to help plump up the tissues, to make things a little bit more full down there to help with our prolapse. So you can add a little bit of collagen in with bone broth. You can make your own bone broth, or you can buy some. That's always an option. Or there's even the options of the powdered form that you can add in coffee or a smoothie that isn't easier to digest as well. So those are all great options. Bone broth is definitely more of the more natural route, but it's completely up to you. Just keep in mind too, if you're going to be having like a Friday night pizza night, have something with enzymes like your whole fruits and veggies, like a salad on the side, to help break down the processed dough, the processed cheese, and the processed meat that are on top of that pizza, so that your gut health can stay happy too. So keep those in mind. If you have any questions, just let us know.